I feel like some people don't want to tell their story because they feel like they're having to emotionally revisit some places. And for me, that feels like a sign that you're not healed from that. So
Right.
I think in my own thought process, heal first and be okay with your story and reclaim the power that you feel like that situation, person, or event took from you. And then when you get to that space, then begin to share.
Yeah, you just answered it. First of all, I want to give you kudos for doing your inner work. I tell people all the time that visibility is power, but visibility starts as an inside job. So I love the fact that you're doing the inner work and you've healed through those places. I think one of the things that's most powerful in and I learned this from I can't take the credit. Bishop R. Christopher Brown says this. He says, "Make pain pay." And I'm a big believer of that, making pain pay. And so, how do we do that? We reclaim our story. But in that process of reclaiming your story, you want to make sure that it is a story that you have healed and processed. You know, there's a whole trend on TikTok, and it's actually a hashtag, Camille, called trauma TikTok.
Really?
Like, why did we? Don't even go look it up. It's too much, okay? So why did we make that a trending hashtag? And it's people sharing their trauma stories. But in what's happened with that is that you have strangers trauma bonding. Okay,
That's
that's a
scary. That's scary.
totally scary. So I'm a big believer of sharing from a place where you are well, you are healed, and that this is not opening up old wounds for you to reshare. The other thing with that, when we're sharing stories that may be messy or traumatic, is how much of this do you need to share? Do you need to
Mhm.
go into all of the details, right?
Mhm.
Is this a story that you even need to share that will resonate with your audience?
Right.
So for me, one of the stories that I share is advanced trigger warning here. One of the stories that I share is I talk about the fact of what was a major transition for me in catapulting me into entrepreneurship was a home invasion at gunpoint.
Wow.
You know, this happened about 9 years ago with my family, and it was during the day, it wasn't at night, but that was my major aha moment. That was my major burning bush experience, I call it,
Mhm.
because in that moment, I realized that I was living life very insignificant and very small. The woman you see today was birthed out of that experience. Now, depending on where I am, I may go into details. Sometimes I may scratch the surface. Sometimes where I am, that story is not even relevant to the
Right.
people that I'm speaking to. So I think also as people who are storytellers, and facts tell but stories sell, we have to do our due diligence in understanding what part of our story does our audience really need to hear. So I'm going to share with you a quick exercise that anybody can do this. And
Okay.
actually, if you've been in middle school, you've probably done this exercise. So it's taking out a sheet of paper, and on one side of the sheet of paper, it's writing down your story, like just your little bullet points, right? Writing down your story. And on the other side of the paper, it's going back through and putting a highlight or circle around the stories that you feel comfortable sharing and identifying which of those stories will connect and resonate with your audience. Because what we all have to understand as storytellers and using storytelling in marketing is we're just a couple of years removed from our audience. That
Mhm.
means the people that you are called to serve were once you. Think about that.
It's almost
They
like you're
were
speaking back to yourself.
correct. Exactly. So and so can I just, I know, I feel like I'm all over the place, but this
Go
is going to be
ahead.
really good.
You have the floor, Ro.
Okay. The other thing that I want to just put in there as well as a little sidebar is if you are a new entrepreneur, please, sir, please, ma'am, hear me out. Please journal your experience. Here's why. One of the major tenets of storytelling is connecting to the emotion. And for some of us, we didn't journal through that experience. So we're trying to drudge back up. Okay, how did I feel when I was learning how to get comfortable on camera? What was that like? What was the emotions? What were the things I was feeling? But if you're journaling your entrepreneur experience, you can then go back into your journal and pull back up those feelings and those emotions and start to use that in your videos, start to use that in your marketing copy because you know what they need because you once were them.
That's good. I never thought about that. Wow.
Yes.
I mean, I
Journal.
do it in my prayer journal, but
Yes.
I never thought to go back and reach and grab some of those things and then turn that into content.
Yes. You're welcome.
That's why you're here. That's why. Okay, if you have not done so, I need you to like, comment, share.
Please.
Shonda Pratt is here. She's dropping major bars. And if you're not sharing this, shame on you, because she is giving out the game for the free 99 tonight. So please do that. Going back into that, which also leads into bleeding. Because you see a lot of people bleeding on social media. They're going on live and they're literally crying on their lives.
Yeah.
Whether if it's someone died or divorced or whatever it is. So let's kind of